Nekopara is the best visual novel I've ever experienced, I say with the only other VN I've gone through being needy streamer overload, but that one kinda stretches the definition of visual novel, so it doesn't count. Now I know what you're thinking. Nekopara with 3 exclamation points for emphasis? Isn't that the Coomer self-insert game with the anime catgirls and the maid outfits meant for weird people? And first of all, hey, your tone was really mean and judgmental. Could you be nicer? Second of all, yeah, you're not wrong, but by the end of this video, I hope I can convince you or at least make you understand that Nekopara is secretly a work of art. In Nekopara, you play from the perspective of John Neko, otherwise known as Kashou Minaduki. Running away from the horrors known as his parents, John Para sets out to be his own man and accomplish the most masculine goal he's ever dreamed of in his life. Become a baker. After studying Western sweets abroad, Kashou tries setting up a sweets bakery of his own, but in the midst of preparing for his bakery's opening, he is confronted by a sudden surprise. There are 6 Neko girls in total, but I'll be introducing them in pairs because it makes more sense that way. First up are the 2 youngest catgirls, Chocola and Vanilla. It should be obvious which one is which, unless you're a blind viewer, then thanks for listening. Chocola has a da-da-da-da personality, or if you don't speak weeaboo, it's basically the cute, silly anime girl character that's always bubbly and cheerful. She is perpetually wearing a colon-ending parentheses or a colon-D on her face and brings a lot of brightness to the room. Most of the time, Chocola is accompanied by her sister Vanilla. They're the same age, and Vanilla's character is a kudere, the foil of Chocola. While Chocola is energetic and naive, Vanilla is cynical and less expressive. However, despite being on opposing sides in terms of personality, the 2 are inseparable and have a unique bond. Vanilla, while she doesn't aspire for much, enjoys watching Chocola attempt various activities, and because she's smarter and more socially aware, Vanilla helps Chocola achieve her goals. The next 2 catgirls, Azuki and Coconut, have a similar dynamic that Vanilla and Chocola have. Azuki is the oldest catgirl, while Coconut is the youngest out of all the siblings until Vanilla and Chocola came. Don't let their appearances deceive you. Azuki, the elder sister, is actually her, while Coconut, the youngest, is big. Coconut acts in a similar fashion to Chocola, being cheery and open, though while Chocola is literally the epitome of no thoughts, head empty, Coconut is a bit more aware of her surroundings. She's insecure about how big her body is, which is made worse by her innate clumsiness. Because of the introduction of Chocola and Vanilla into the catgirl family, Coconut wants to be a dependable, older sibling to them. Azuki, meanwhile, is more expressive than Vanilla, and is the older figure that Coconut looks up to. Looks down to? That Coconut aspires to be like. Azuki advises all the catgirls in the family, but sometimes she does get a bit harsh, especially on Coconut. Despite their fighting, arguing, and banter, Azuki and Coconut still love and respect each other as siblings. Azuki in Japanese is red bean paste, by the way. The final 2 catgirls are Maple and you. For some reason, Cinnamon does not have cinnamon-colored hair. Continuity? Maple's pride can get in the way of her decision-making, but she's not the obnoxious rich girl tsundere, "It's not like I like you or anything" archetype. Cinnamon is the joke is sex. All she does is make innuendos. It's all she ever does, and she won't shut the fuck up about it. Please talk about something else. I think the dynamic between these 2 is that Maple's ego can get in the way of things, but because Cinnamon hangs around Maple a lot, Cinnamon is able to understand her true feelings or something, but honestly I feel like that's a reach, and I hate this abhorrent purple-haired abomination. Then there's Shigure. She's not a catgirl, she is Kashou's, the main character's sister, and she's worse than Cinnamon. A whole lot worse. I absolutely despise her. If I had to explain her personality without immediately risking demonetization. So you know that one game with the coffin and the 2 characters named Andy and Lele? There are 4 volumes of the light novel Nekopara, labeled 1 through 4 obviously, but there's technically 6 if you're a Nekopara expert like me, which includes Nekopara 0 and Extra. Those last 2 aren't worth much in terms of substance and are more like short stories rather than a fully fleshed out Nekopara volume. Volume 1 focuses on Chocola and Vanilla because they're the first ones to follow Kashou to the bakery and want to work for him. Kashou is like, "Nuh-uh," and Chocola is like, "Yuh-huh," and Vanilla kinda doesn't care, but she's really attached to Chocola, so she's there to back her up. Chocola and Vanilla study and get their bells, which is like how in today's society we teach children to drive so that they can commit vehicular manslaughter at the trial of adulthood, and Chocola and Vanilla become fully fledged catgirls, with Kashou finally giving in and letting them work at the bakery. The sequel is mainly around Azuki and Coconut. Coconut wants to set a good example for Chocola and Vanilla and become a more confident person, but she's always messing things up. Azuki doesn't help alleviate Coconut's insecurities any better by constantly criticizing her when she makes a mistake. After one too many fights, Coconut cries and runs off, but once everything settles down, the two sisters are able to communicate their true feelings and everything is nice again. Volume 3 is about Maple's childhood dream of becoming a singer and her reigniting her love for singing, and Cinnamon just kinda cheers her on, I guess. Before Maple does a big performance at a party on a ship, she is confronted by the ultimate conflict plaguing humanity for years: discrimination. She sings, and the guy who hates catgirls is like, "My bad, original gangster," and that's the end of that. The final Nekopara novel, 4, is about Kashou. What? The self-insert gets development. Basically, even after running away and opening his own bakery, his dad, who is the ultimate Omega Chad of Japanese sweets, doesn't approve of these second-rate pastries. Kashou goes back to his old mentor in France to complete his training arc, comes back, and on Christmas makes a whack-ass cake for his father. His dad tastes it and is like, "Damn," and walks away, which for those of you who don't speak anime means he finally approves of Kashou's baking skills. After explaining most of the Nekopara lore, you probably think that the game's plot is hilariously simple with no substance, clearly trash for the bottom feeders to nibble on as you swirl your wine glass in your $20 million yacht, and I don't blame you. Nekopara, pretty much everywhere, is seen as a degenerate game, and I'm not making it look any better by feeding into that perspective using not-so-subtle H-scene jokes. But I played Nekopara for the plot. I'm being deadass, unironically, for real. Like, I bought the for Volume 3, and I absolutely hated it because it ruined the cute aspect of the game. I came into the game wanting to see cute catgirls doing cute things, and I got exactly what I wanted. If you're going around and looking for complexity, there's not many ideas in this game that have nuance to them. It's supposed to be a utopia where all problems are resolved cleanly and everyone is understanding, and wow, look, catgirls. However, I don't think there's any shame in being absorbed into the cuteness of Nekopara, especially with all the hell that's going on in the real world. Even if the game is a self-insert, it makes you forget your troubles for just a moment, and sometimes that's all you really need. It's a basic plot done well with catgirls. And that's the real treasure of Nekopara. If you think this video is a joke, I've been defending my stance on this game way before I even thought of making this video. I think as YouTube video essay content has changed over time, as viewers were so invested in the details and the true meanings of games, especially horror that mimic real-life tragedies like coping with mental illnesses or death, that bringing that mindset to a game such as Nekopara will obviously give you expectations that the game isn't meant to fulfill. Nekopara is a great visual novel, but not for the same reason that make Needy Streamer Overload or Cry of Fear great games. I understand why I enjoy the visual novel, and I'm not ashamed of my reason for it. Nekopara is the best visual novel I've ever experienced, and it's not because I've never played any other visual novels, it's because it's a game that does its simple job well. Anyways, that's about it for this video. See ya.